Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, winter is back in Maine. We got our snow back the other day, and I think it's going to snow some more on Christmas Eve night. Today it's very sunny and beautiful, but it is cold. It was only 0 when I woke up, and it got up to 2 degrees when I came outside, and we had like a -20 wind chill. But now that we're getting closer to noontime, it's 15 degrees, so it's better out now. It's still windy, so the wind chill is probably still in the teens, but it's not a constant wind, so it's not too bad. But yeah, so today I'm just trying to get caught up from going to visit my son and family for Christmas, because I was gone for 3 or 4 days, so I have a lot of things I need to get done before I start my regular routine again tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna try to go in and out today and not stay too long outside at once, just because of the temperature. But I was gonna talk about the cold just a little bit and just say that it's so important to dress in layers, because when you first come outside, it feels really cold when you're not doing anything, but then when you start doing work, you really need to be able to shed a layer or two at a time, because the worst thing you can do is to sweat underneath all your clothes, because then when you're done working and you start cooling off, that sweat and that moisture is going to get really cold, and it could really cause you to get hypothermia if you're not careful, and it's just uncomfortable. When I came outside earlier, I did have a scarf and another coat that had a hood on, but as I started doing things around the yard, I had to shed a couple layers because it's starting to get warm, because it is sunny. So if you're in the shade, it feels a lot colder than if you're in the sun. And another real important thing about wintertime and when it's snow and sunny, when we have snow and it's sunny, is sunglasses. It's real important to wear some type of eye protection, because the sun shining off of that snow, reflecting off the snow, is really bad for your eyes. So I just have my regular sunglasses on now, but my other ones that I really like to wear have a yellow tint. And I like the yellow tint because if you're working in and out of the sun, this tint actually brightens everything up, so I can still see really well in the shaded areas and in the sunny areas, but it also protects my eyes at the same time. So I was just taking a walk around the property, so that's why I had the dark ones on, because I didn't really need to see anything in particular. But if you're working on something and it's sunny and shady, this yellow tint, it really helps a lot. I'm gonna switch back to the other ones for now. But oh, and one other thing I wanted to say before I get going with this video is thank you everyone for all the best wishes and wishing me a good trip and wishing me a Merry Christmas, and Tank too. I really appreciate all of the best wishes and warm wishes and all of that. It was really heartwarming, and I really do appreciate it. We had a great time visiting my son. I don't have any footage from that because I decided to put my phone away for my visit. I didn't get on my phone that much. I did answer a few comments at night once, like when everything was calmed down and we weren't really doing anything, but I tried to stay off my phone most of the time and give myself a break. So no video evidence, I can't talk, no video evidence or picture evidence, but we had a great time. So I think for today outside, the only things I need to really get done is I want to finish walking the property. It's been really windy, so I just like to make sure there's no trees down, because even though I don't drive out in the winter, I still want the road clear of trees, just in case a snowmobile or something needs to get in, because even if an ambulance can't get in, the game wardens can get in on a four-wheeler or a snowmobile if there was an emergency. And I usually go down and check on my mom and stepdad's camp too. And I also need to walk around and check the fence. I usually do that once a week. I like to do a walk around, make sure that no animal has found a way through the fence, no tree branches have fallen on the fence, anything like that. I want to make sure the fence is up and not compromised. Tank is really good about letting me know if part of the fence is down or if there's a hole. He'll come and get me and try to show me, which is really funny. I didn't teach him to do that. He just does it. I think he likes his yard protected as well. And we did have a moose walk through the fence once. I think it was last year. He or she tore a whole section down. We had to put it back up. You could actually see the moose print in the fence. They just stomped it right down. So I like to keep an eye on that, especially in the winter. I don't want Tank getting down by the stream where it's high and it's icy. I don't want any chance of him falling in. And so it just gives me more of a peace of mind too, because he doesn't, like, even the time the moose knocked the fence down, he didn't leave the yard without me, but I don't want to take that chance. So I'll just take you around with me on those couple of things today, and then the rest of my time I'll probably get a few things done inside. I have some chores to get caught up on from when I was gone. I have a bunch of supplies to put away that I had got, and I have some footage of a quick bread that I had made the other day with all freeze-dried or regular ingredients, nothing refrigerated, to make this bread, and I'll share that recipe with you too. All right, I'm gonna get moving again because I'm starting to get cold. I might have to put my coat back on. You know it's cold when Tank has icicles hanging off his face. You're such a pretty boy. I love you, buddy. You're a good boy. Now we're just walking down towards my mom and stepdad's camp, because I usually try to walk down here and check on their camp quite often just to make sure no trees are down, or nothing, no animals been trying to get in their camp or anything like that. So we're heading down there to check that out. Tank's gonna go check out the yard, but it looks like everything is good down here. That's my family's camp. Their chimney's still up. Every once in a while their chimney used to get knocked down because of the snow, but my stepdad built a wood like stopper behind the chimney, and that's helped it. The roof doesn't look too bad, so I don't think I'll need to rake it. So now that we've checked the road and checked the rest of the property, we'll go back up to the house and get a couple things done up there. Hi, baby. I'm gonna start on the stream side of the fence here and just check that out, because as you can see down there, the water, it's not as high as it was, but it's still pretty high. I'll walk you down there in a minute. But I just like to walk along the outside of the fence here, make sure that none of it's compromised, make sure nothing has come underneath the bottom and tried to make its way in. I usually try to check and see if there's any footprints around, see if anyone has been, not anyone, but anything has been trying to get in. I don't think there's any people trying to get in, but we try to keep it a clear path on each side of the fence so we can keep the snow down and be able to keep an eye on the fence. You can see here, this part is broken, and that was from a tree falling on it last year, but we strung it back up. I only use this chicken wire because Tank doesn't try to get out of the fence. He doesn't push on it. He doesn't try to get out of it. So it works great for him, and it gives me a peace of mind while I'm working on the computer. So I'm just gonna go around this whole fence and check it on both sides. Oh yeah, see, like this side right here, I need to get a rock. I don't think I'll get a stake in the ground this time of year. I need to fix that because something's gonna come under there. Yeah, so I'm gonna come back and get a log or a rock and just stick it over there. In the summertime, I put stakes in the ground to hold it down. So actually, before I go any further, I'm gonna go find something to put on that. Oh, I might have something right here. Let's see how heavy this is. Nope, that's frozen in the ground. That's too frozen. I'll have to find something else. But so yeah, so I'm gonna do that, go all along the fence and check it. But before I do that, I'm gonna go get something to cover that bottom up, and I'll just take you down the stream real quick so you can see it. Tank's mad because I didn't let him come with me. I'll bring him down here on the leash in a little while. He'll be happy. But as you can see, it's freezing up quite well. It's still high because it's over the rocks here, but it hasn't come any higher because we got a little bit of rain before we got this snow back. But it is nice down here. Just a little dangerous this time of year. There we go. I found that big piece of spruce or pine and another piece, and I put up along the bottom of that fence. And that'll just keep it down. And then when we get a little more snow, Tuesday night, it will hold it down even better. But that'll be good enough to keep some of the small critters out from coming in. So see, that's a good idea. That wasn't up like that the other day, so probably the frost changed the ground a little bit, or something went and moved it out of the way. So, but no, I'm gonna keep going and this chore will be done. I wanted to show you how easy it is to make a quick bread, or bread that it's not bread like to butter and make toast with, but almost like a pumpkin bread, but it's different. This one I'm gonna make with raspberries, freeze-dried raspberries. And to make this bread, you do not have to have any liquid or refrigerated ingredients, which is really great. So I have the recipe here. I'll just read you the ingredients. It just takes flour, baking powder, sugar, vanilla powder, egg powder, butter powder, milk powder, a teeny pinch of salt, and you can add nutmeg if you want to. Nutmeg can be a little strong, so sometimes I leave it out. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of cinnamon instead. It depends on what fruit I'm using. But today we're gonna make raspberry, so I will probably leave the nutmeg out and just put a tad bit extra vanilla, because I really love that vanilla flavor. So I will show you how to mix all the ingredients together and get it ready to go. I'm doing any type of baking with freeze-dried fruit like this. I always put it in the water first to let it rehydrate a little bit. If you don't rehydrate the fruit, sometimes it will float like at the top of your bread or whatever you're making, and it doesn't really incorporate into the bread or anything like that. So the quick bread that I'm making today, it only takes 1 3/4 cups of water. So I put that into the measuring cup, and then I'm going to take, you're supposed to have a cup of these raspberries, and I'm just going to dump them right into this water. Make sure I get all the little bits out of there. Let me get a spoon or something. So it says for a cup. I don't know if I have a whole entire cup here, but it's pretty close. It'll be enough for the bread. I want to use these up because I've had them open for a little while. And I just kind of push them down into the water. And I'll just let them sit in here. It doesn't really matter how long, just until I'm ready to do the rest of my bread. And if they soak up a little bit of the water, I can always add just like a tablespoon or 2 more when I go to make the bread mix. So once I let them sit in here like this for a little bit, as long as you give it at least 10 minutes or so, they'll be plenty enough. I think I'm gonna let these sit a little bit longer. And then once I mix all the other ingredients for the bread, I'll dump this in and stir it all up. I don't have a lot of counter space, so hopefully this view is okay. And today I'm just going to use oat flour because that's what I have on hand. And so I need a 1.5 cups of that. So I'm gonna put that in. You can use whatever type of flour you like. So there's a cup. And then we'll need 1/2. The container is not the easiest to get it out of, but it works. All right. And then we need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. There we go. And then we need 1/2 cup of sugar. I have a little bit of sugar left in this bag that I need to get rid of. Let me see if I can get it out. Oh, that actually worked perfect. That's 1/2 cup. So 1/2 cup of sugar. And And then I need to get into some of the powder ingredients that are not usually powdered. So these say scrambled egg mix, but they're just eggs. If you look at the ingredients, the only thing in there is eggs. So for the egg powder, I need to have, oh, this one's not open, so I gotta open it real quick. I need 1/4 of a cup of the egg powder. So let me get that open. All right, and that's what the egg powder looks like. It's just shiny, crisply. So we gotta do 1/4 of a cup of that. Oops, dropped them in the sink. And then I need butter powder. I need 1/3 of a cup of butter powder. So here's the butter powder. And that's what the butter powder looks like. It's just yellow. Looks like butter. Smells like butter. Oh, that one. I've had this one open for a little bit. So when you have them open for a little while, if you don't put them in a different container than this can, they can get a little chunky. But it's fine. You just break it up and it will be fine. I might just use my spoon I had over here. Break it up a little bit. I try to not leave these in the can. They say they're good in the can for a year. But they end up, you know, with the changing seasons and stuff like that, sometimes they can get a little bit hard. Not super hard, but just a little bit. So I think it's better off if you move them into something more airtight than this can once they're open. If you don't open them, they're perfectly fine. So there is 1/3 of the cup of the butter powder. There's that. And now we need 2 tablespoons of the milk powder. So let me grab that. Here is the milk powder. So I just need 2 tablespoons of that. I've never had the milk powder get a little hard. It's mostly some of the fruit, if you leave them too long in the can, and the butter for some reason. And let's see what is next. So I think the only thing left now is 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So let me grab that. Just gonna take it right out of my salt shaker. Find my 1/2 teaspoon. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And like I said, I'm gonna skip the nutmeg and I'm going to put just a little bit of cinnamon in there instead. So I'll probably just take like 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and plop that in there. Oh, and I gotta get the vanilla too. I almost forgot that. So let's do the vanilla first. So the vanilla, you just need 1 teaspoon of the vanilla powder. There we go. I get this vanilla powder right off of Amazon. It's just Madagascar vanilla powder. It seems to work really well. There's not a whole lot of ingredients in it, which I love. And here's the cinnamon. So I'll probably put, I don't want to put too much. I'll probably just grab like 1/2 teaspoon. That should be good. You kind of make it to your taste. So now I'm going to take the raspberries that I had sitting in the water to rehydrate and pour that in. And what I usually do, actually I got them all out. So then I'm just going to take my spoon and mix this all together. And then it will be ready to go into a pan in the oven. And you just bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. I want to make sure I get all these chunks out. I might get a whisk out instead, but we'll see. I want to leave some of the raspberries whole, but I don't want, that butter powder was a little chunky, so I want to make sure it gets all incorporated. So I think I am going to grab a whisk just to be safe. Make sure that it gets all mixed in. So I'm going to take that out. Get the chunks off of there. All right. I'm just going to whisk it up. That will get rid of the last little chunks that were in there. And there it is, all ready to go in the oven. I did spray the pan with olive oil. You don't have to do that, but I did, and I chose to use a disposable pan. It just saves dishes. And I had some that I had got from the dollar store. So I'm gonna put this in the oven and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. What their bread, the quick bread looks like when it's all done. This bread has that color because of the raspberries. It's a very dense bread, but it has great flavor with the raspberries and that little bit of vanilla and a little bit of cinnamon. And that is what it looks like in the pan when it's all cooked. It is very good. It smells great. Well, I think that will conclude the video for today. It was kind of a quick one, but in just doing some regular old chores today, but that's what I like to show, real life. Tank and I really appreciate everyone watching and everyone commenting and having talks with us. And I really appreciate some of the great ideas people have been giving. So, just in case I don't make a video on Wednesday, because Wednesday is Christmas, I haven't decided if I'm going to do it or not. But just in case I don't do one, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. I'm sure I'll make a video before New Year. And I hope everybody stays safe, warm, and happy. And if you are still enjoying the videos, please like, share, subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate it. The bigger our community grows, the more fun it is. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Live every day to the fullest. Respect nature. And I'll go find Tank so he can say goodbye. Well, here's Tank. I think he's enjoying a little bit of the sunshine. He's playing with one of his Christmas presents there that he got when we went and visited my son. I'm sure he'll tear it apart in no time. But thanks again, everyone. And we will see you in the next video.